What it do, what it do, what it do. Welcome to episode 29 of the Axis of Combat podcast. Like always, it's your boy Ray Boogie, Big Red, my co-host.
Hugo the boss, Hugo got next, you already know. And before we get into any of this stuff, you already know the business. Follow, like, subscribe, comment, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok.
Everybody enjoying the visuals here on YouTube. Like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell to stay up to date.
And for all of our audio listeners, Spotify, Apple, Google Podcasts, you already know. And before we jump into this UFC 293 card, which is just a premier card for Australian fighters, let's just keep it 100 the way it's looking. We're going to recap our bets from last week. Get ready to sound it. Drum roll. We need one of those sound effects on this thing.
Yeah, we used to have a drum roll sound effect here, but
yeah, we need to.
We'll bring it back.
We need to bring it back, 100. But good night of bets for us. We had a great night, guys. We'll start it off. We'll start it off with our losses. Why not? We had Spivak money line. We had a parlay for Furia, Quiñones over 2.5. Gomes, Gumuri. I'm gonna say Gumuri. Over 2.5. We had Edwards Lusa money lines. We should have hit that one because Edwards won the fight. Complete robbery.
She got fleeced, boy.
Fleeced. We had Basharat via sub and via sub round 2 and round 3. Those are long shot bets, so we barely lost anything on him, but it was close because he winded up subbing him in round 1.
He got the sub, but it was right at the end of round 1.
Absolutely. I had my brother had Quiñones via sub or decision. I had another parlay, but this is like another long shot parlay. Saint Denis money line, Ozdemir money line, Furia money line, and Spivak money line. Hit on 3 of them, lost on the last one. I was okay with it. I only put 1/5 of a 10th of a unit.
Yeah, you put something wild small on it.
Very small. Just a big payout. Long shot.
Yeah.
Now to get into our wins. Saint Denis via knockout. Saint Denis money line. That was our biggest bet of the night. Thank God. We had a unit parlay on Basharat, Gomes, and Cheria. Actually, I did. My brother and me had a parlay on Saint Denis and Basharat. That cashed. I had a parlay on Basharat, Ozdemir, and Guskov if the fight doesn't go the distance. And Fariat, Quiñones over 2.5. I had... Actually, no, my bets are done. You had a parlay for Gomes, moneyline, Cheria, moneyline, and La Pap. For these French names are killing me. Lapalis, Lachrin, fight to start round 2.
There you go.
Jesus, that's a rough one.
Listen, I got bodied last week trying to pronounce these names.
Oh, my goodness. It's getting me mixed up on English, English words, you know what I'm saying? But overall, my brother finished up a unit and a half. I finished up close to 3 units.
Payday, you want payday.
On second thought, we should have bet Fariat via decision because we had a gut reaction to that. It was plus money. That's the only regrettable thing I didn't do last week. Outside of that, probably should have put more money on Saint Denis.
I mean, listen, I already had 2 units on a parlay. You took them straight and you had them in a parlay.
Multiple parlays, yeah. So,
yep. Saint Denis and Basharat. I mean, those are my
locks.
2 reads. Those are my 2 locks from the beginning. So,
and notice there's a lot of other people online that I noticed had nights or losing nights, but that's because they dared on some of these fights that were a little scary. Don't blame them, man. If they would have hit, they would have looked like geniuses, but I didn't have enough balls to bet on some of those fights because they were very scary to bet on. I mean, even just Edwards. Once I seen that Edwards thing, I said, okay.
I mean, listen, I like hunting dogs too, but you know, if it's the chalk that's gonna win, it's the chalk that's gonna win.
It's the chalk that wins. That's it.
Just don't, it's all about just the bankroll management. Just put a little bit and then, let it rock.
Let it rock. We barely lost anything on the Lusa Edwards parlay.
No, not at all.
Barely.
Yeah.
But there was so much value in playing that and then together. Lusa was not gonna bet him at minus money. Neither were you.
No.
And that third round explained why.
Yeah. Ended up taking him by decision. It got a little scary towards the end.
Yeah.
And then Edwards,
robbery.
Like we said before, thought she won, but
fleeced.
Got fleeced. So, also just Gomes, that fight.
Oh, yeah.
We had the over. Well, I think I had the over. I don't know if you had the over.
I did.
10 seconds.
10 seconds.
Woo!
Are you kidding me? And
Come on,
it was
man.
from a blow that was legal, but
The referee fumbled the bag.
he fumbled the bag.
Yeah.
You know, the clock should have kept running. The read was correct. The referee intervened, and this is what happens in combat sports and just sports in general, guys.
Yep.
Sometimes the officials take these bets and these good quality looks from our hands. You know, so can't say it was a bad bet. It was 10 seconds away. Neither one of them were really hurt. Don't really care if it was an illegal blow. It was just handled incorrectly.
Yes.
So, anyway, on to UFC 293. Headlined by Stylebender and Sean Strickland.
Ooh. And the crowd goes mild.
We could kick it off, my brother. What you got for me for this first fight?
All right, first fight we got here, we have a debuting Kevin Jousset. Or Jousset? I think it's Jousset. Going one-on-one with Kiefer Crosbie.
Juice, baby.
Juicy. 8-2. Born in France, but raised in Australia. Hailing from Australia. 30 years old. Going one-on-one with Big Daddy, Kiefer Crosbie. 10-3. Fighting out of Ireland. Hailing from Ireland. 33 years old. This fight's a little mid. I'm not gonna lie to you. It's
level.
Two low-level guys. Two debuting guys. Jousset, what I don't like about him, well, actually, let me start with what I like about him. I think he's technical. I think he's sharp, throws punches down the middle. What I don't like about him is that he's extremely low volume. His chin is out there, can be hit, very hittable. Going to Crosbie, he's kind of like a jack of all trades, master of none. He's pretty solid, but I mean, coming out of Bellator, I think, he got cut after 2 back-to-back losses. Also very hittable, but he's more than willing to mix up the striking with the grappling. I think kind of gasses. I think he's gonna end up gassing before Jousset does. I think for a pure pick, I like Jousset. Don't know how I'm gonna bet this fight because it's just so. I think the odds are right. It's like a pick'em. There's like pick'em prices. I like Jousset here, but I'm not willing to put my life on the line for this one. So, what about you?
Horrible fighter. Horrible fighter.
Probably won't be betting this fight. Jousset's the lean for all the reasons that you listed, but probably going to stay away from this. I don't like touching too many low-level MMA fights. These guys don't belong in the UFC. I'm going to be honest with you. I think this is just to premiere, someone from that continent, and...
Yeah, it feels like a setup fight for Jousset because he's coming out of city kickboxing and...
Big stay away from me.
They're both very hittable. Again,
Stay away.
I'm just leaning the guy who's more technical.
Yeah, I agree.
Crosby's gonna have the what do you call it? The volume edge, but I don't know.
More,
Man.
yeah, he's a cleaner.
Just a scary fight.
Scary fight. We can move on to the next one.
Next fight we have in the prelims. We got Shane Jung. I'm not gonna pronounce his nickname. Going one-on-one with Gabriel Miranda. Shane Jung. 13-7, fighting out of New Zealand, hailing from New Zealand, 30 years old. Going one-on-one with Gabriel Fly Miranda. 16-6 overall, hailing from Brazil, fighting out of Brazil, 33 years old. I'm just gonna be upfront. I'm not the biggest fan of Shane Jung. I think he's got decent hands. I think the boxing is probably where he's gonna shine. But Gabriel Miranda, I mean, his debut fight was against Benoit Saint-Denis.
Tough.
Where he looked okay until he wasn't okay, and Benoit kind of just ran him over. I mean, both these guys have something in common where Shane Jung debuted against Volk. Volk ran him over.
Yeah.
Now he trains with Volk.
Join me.
Join me. I think this fight stays standing. Shane Jung's got the edge. This is another fight where I think they're trying to set up the Australian fighter to get a win here. Gabriel's going to have the size advantage. Maybe not necessarily the reach advantage, but he's going to be bigger. And I think I don't think Shane Young's probably the easiest guy to take down, but I think Miranda is going to find a way to take this guy down. And then if he does, I think he's going to maul him with the jiu-jitsu and probably find a sub. Shane Young, probably the pick, but I think, and from a betting perspective, I think this is dog or pass. And I kind of like Miranda here. What about you, brother?
I agree. I think this fight is not a little bit. It's a lot better than the first fight, but
still low level. But
Shane Young is pretty low level in my opinion. Gabriel is a little better than him in my opinion as an overall fighter. Shane Young has struggled with guys that are naturally just bigger than him. Gabriel is bigger than him, and if this fight touches the floor, I think Gabriel probably subs him because I think Shane Young is not great on the floor at all. Don't know if I'm going to bet it, but I agree with you, my brother. This is a dog or pass fight. So if you do want to bet it, in my opinion, I think you have to go dog here for value. But this fight may be a stay away, but maybe not. We'll see, because I don't know if there's a lot of betting spots on this card. So this might be a place where I take a shot. So Miranda, Shane's the lean. Miranda might be the bet.
All right, third fight on the prelims. We got Mike Mathea, also known as Blood Diamond, going one-on-one with Charlie Radtke. Blood Diamond, 3-2, fighting out of Australia, hailing from Zimbabwe, 35 years old, going one-on-one with Chuck Buffalo himself.
My man's Buffalo.
Chuck Buffalo, what a sick name. Charlie Radtke, 7-3, fighting out of Salem, Wisconsin, 33 years old. This is another low-level fight.
Yeah.
3 in a row. I do not like Blood Diamond.
Yeah.
I mean, losing to Jeremiah Wells is one thing. Losing the
Ryan Okosi.
oof,
Ryan Okosi.
losing to a Kosi brother, not a good look. Charlie,
Is he the one with the Dragon Ball Z tattoo on his arm?
listen, he's just a bad one. I don't know which one it is. Charlie Kosi, not really impressive from what I seen either.
Or Charlie Radtke.
Oh,
You said Kosi, yeah.
I said Kosi.
The Curse of Kosi.
Chuck Buffalo. I'm gonna just call him Chuck Buffalo.
Yeah.
Chuck Buffalo, not really too, exciting. I think if this fight stays standing, it's probably 50-50. Got to lean Blood Diamond because of his, quote unquote, kickboxing, his legendary kickboxing that, we haven't seen yet. But supposedly Chuck has got some grappling. I haven't seen it. If it does go to the ground, I get it. You got to lean Chuck. This is probably just going to be a big stay away fight. Maybe. Dog or pass. I haven't seen Charlie really go to the wrestling. So, I mean,
Correct.
if he doesn't go to it in MMA, then it's kind of like, is it really there? Dog or pass. I don't like this fight. I think they're trying another fight where they're just trying to set up the Australian fighter, trying to set up Blood Diamond to get a win. So I'm gonna lean Blood Diamond, even though he's like a fat dog. And this fight's gonna suck. What about you?
Yeah, listen, I'm with you. I think I'm gonna lean Blood Diamond here, but very uncomfortably. Don't know if I'm gonna bet this fight, but the reason being is because even when Jeremiah Wells took down Blood Diamond, he had to kind of muscle him down. He didn't really use great technique to get him to the floor. Radtke apparently, like you said, has a grappling background, but never uses in the MMA fights. So if he continues with the same game plan that he's had consistently throughout his MMA career for all of his 10 fights, and he stands with Blood Diamond, I'm going to favor Blood Diamond on the feet. Great timing, great speed. Doesn't have a great amount of power, but he's very technical. Thing is, he just needs the right dance partner, and I feel like the UFC is trying to get him that dance partner. So I'm going to lean Blood Diamond. Don't know if I'm going to bet it, but I tell you what, if he gets up to close to plus 300, it might be very tempting to take a shot on him. Probably by decision too, because I don't know if he's really starching anyone at this level. Yeah, I mean, Blood Diamond, but very uncomfortably.
All right, next fight we have in the prelims. A fight that was supposed to take place last week in France, but taking place this week in Australia. Nasrat Haqparast going one-on-one with Landon Quiñones.
Who?
Don't disrespect Nasrat.
Nah, Nasrat's cool. I didn't want to hit that twice.
Nasrat, 14-5. Fighting out of Germany. But he is He's Afghani. He's from Afghanistan.
Right.
28 years old. Going against Landon Quiñones, the lone wolf. 7-1-1.
Quiñones, bro.
Quiñones. I think he's Puerto Rican.
I'm pretty sure he's Puerto Rican. Seen it in tough.
Coming out of Sunrise, Florida. 27 years old. I think Nasrat's the side here. He's just going to be... I think he's just got the quicker hands. He's got more experience on his side. I think he's going to be able to stop anything Quiñones kind of throws at him in terms of grappling, because I think Quiñones is going to try to shoot on him. Now, do I think this line should be as wide? I don't think so. I think this is a big kind of like overreaction to Quiñones' last fight against in the Tough House against Jason Knight, where, you know,
he was touching Jason too.
I think, like, watching his other fights, I think he's actually got decent hands.
Yeah.
And like I said, not afraid to mix in the grappling. But
too much too soon.
I think it's too much too soon. A debut going across the world to fight Nasrat. Yeah. It's tough. I think he probably does belong in the UFC, but I think this is just a tough debut to like really kind of showcase anything. I do think the fight's going to be closer than people anticipate. I do probably think this fight goes the distance, but it's going to be like not one-sided, but I think it's going to be clear Nasrat probably by decision. I don't think Quiñones gets finished here, but yeah, I think Nasrat's the side, and he might be the bet. I'm not too sure. I mean, he's like a big favorite here.
Parlay piece for sure.
Yeah,
possibly.
Maybe a good solid parlay piece. Yeah. And yeah. That's really what I got here. What about you?
Same thing, same reasons. I like Quiñones. I hooed him. I apologize. I didn't want to disrespect him. He's a fellow Boricua. I got to hold it down for him. But I think there's a lot too soon for him, in my opinion. Not even too much. It's a lot too soon for him. And there's a big ask of him on his UFC debut, especially you know against a guy like Nasrat, who knows how to manage distance, knows how to stay safe, and can definitely keep him on the outside. Nasrat probably by decision, but I don't know how I'm going to bet this fight yet, so we'll figure it out. But Nasrat's definitely lean. It's just how, especially we have no idea how these lines look right now. It's early in the week, but it's something I'm going to be taking a look at, and definitely a parlayable piece.
All right, next fight we have in the prelims. We got Jamie Mullarkey going one-on-one with John the Bull Makdessi. Sorry. Mullarkey, 16-6, fighting out of Australia, hailing from Australia, 29 years old. Going one-on-one with the Bull, John Makdessi, 18-8, hailing from Canada, fighting out of Canada, 38 years old. I think this is another fight where I don't think the line is as wide, but I do think it's another fight that probably does go the distance.
Yeah.
I'm going to lean Jamie. Only because he's the younger guy. He's going to be the bigger guy. He's going to have the longer reach. But Makdessi, even though he's 38 years old, I don't think he's not an easy out. It's going to be tough for, I think, Mullarkey to get him out. I think Mullarkey's going to be able to, mix in the striking with the grappling. Makdessi, I think he's got quick hands, and he's a little light on his feet. He don't have the reach at all. He's got like T-Rex arms, but...
And he's got great takedown defense.
And he's got solid takedown D. I mean, Nasrat was able to take him down like towards the end of like round 3 of their last fight. But I think it was more of just like, he was just surprised, And yeah, I'm going to lean Jamie Mullarkey here, but I think this fight is closer than the line indicates. Mullarkey's one of those guys where I want to bet him as a dog. I don't really want to bet him as a favorite.
Yeah, like Lusa.
Yeah, exactly. Just like Lusa. And, but I do think he should have enough here to get Makdessi out. I don't think Makdessi, he hasn't knocked out anybody in a long time.
Decision for Mullarkey.
Yeah, I think I'm going to lean the over decision, but I think Mullarkey is the right side here. But I think it's going to be close. So
I agree with everything you said. I think, Makdessi hasn't knocked out anyone in a long time. I think he's very old. I I think Jamie Mullarkey, the way he's been fighting recently too, and this is why, fight footage and watching these fights every weekend is so important. The way he's been fighting very carefully. Not taking over exuberant risks, putting himself in the line of danger, picking his shots, being very strategic and very technical. He was winning his last fight till he got caught with a good shot. And he's been able to deal with people except for guys who are extremely big punchers. That's why I think Prado was essentially live against him, but he was able to handle him. He just couldn't solve the last guy, which in a fight he was dominating. Let's keep it real. He was winning that fight. I think he's going to do the same thing here. I think Makdessi, can crack, but he has to kind of catch him coming in, which Mullarkey is not really allotting or allocating any of his time to doing anymore. Jamie Mullarkey, I think via decision, but I'm only going to bet if it's plus money. I agree with you because he can get thrown into a war, but I don't think I wouldn't bet he would, but for that, you got to be a little tentative because of his previous experiences in the octagon. So Mullarkey via decision.
All right, next fight we have here, still on the prelims, we got Jack Jenkins, Jack Jenkins, going one-on-one with the machine gun, Chepe Mariscal. Jack Jenkins, 12-2, fighting out of Australia, hailing from Australia, 30 years old, going one-on-one with Chepe Mariscal, the machine gun, 14-6, fighting out of Denver, Colorado, 30 years old. I like Jack Jenkins here.
Yeah.
I mean, dude's got wicked leg kicks. He's one of these technical fighters that he kind of works his way up. He's going to start with the leg kicks, up to the body, then find the head.
Yeah, then he kills the head.
Technical, light on his feet. I did think he lost his last fight against Emmers. But, I mean, I think that's a little bit on Emmers' fault. He probably should have went to the grappling a little sooner. Chepe, his last fight was an upper weight class against Trevor Peek. That was a hell of a fun fight. Enjoy that fight. Chepe was able to pull that one out. I think if Chepe makes this fight a little sloppy, maybe he can, give Jack Jenkins some trouble. Because Jack Jenkins kind of wants to work in that space, Again, he's a technical guy. Chepe sloppy.
Yeah, but a brawler.
Yeah. But he's good, He'll mix in he'll try to mix in takedowns, this and that. If he can try to take Jack Jenkins down, I think all bets are off. Because Jack Jenkins is not the craziest off his back. I mean, I think it's going to be hard to get him out like submission-wise, but I think, like I said, I think Jenkins is the side here. I think this is another fight where it's gonna play out a little closer than people think. Would I be completely surprised if Chepe pulled out the crazy upset? Maybe not. But I'm gonna lean the more technical fighter in Australia to get the win.
Agreed. And I agree because I think Jack Jenkins has real skill. I'm gonna be honest. I think he's really good on the feet. Chepe he beat Trevor Peek, but he just beat Trevor Peek, right? Trevor Peek is not technical. And Jack can catch him with stuff that he doesn't see. But what I will say is I think this fight's probably going to go to the decision because Chepe has only been knocked out, I think, by 3 people. Gregor Gillespie, which I believe, I haven't seen the fight, but I'm going to assume it was by ground and pound. Who were the other 2 guys that knocked him out?
Let me see. I know he beat Pat Sabatini. He's got a decent resume, Mariscal.
Yeah.
He's fought some decent guys in the regionals. I know he lost to Giuseppe.
Lost to Bryce Mitchell.
But he beat Pat Sabatini.
And then he got knocked out by Gillespie, as I said.
Yep.
Brito, who's a monstrous puncher.
Brito.
And then Steve Garcia, who is all offense. So, listen, I those guys are big. Jack Jenkins is also big, but I think this fight's probably going to go to decision. But I'm going to look at it a little bit more before I give you guys an assessment in terms of pick.
I was going to say maybe like a late stoppage.
It could be a late stoppage, but Chepe is fucking durable.
Yeah.
He's very durable. So Jack Jenkins is the lean. We'll see how we're going to bet it.
All right, now we made it to the prelim main event. As currently constituted, we got Carlos Ulberg, the Black Jag, a.k.a. Baby Rock, Go on one with Jung. I can't pronounce his nickname. These are two pretty good looking guys, by the way. It's like a handsome off. I don't know if that's even a right phrase or whatever. Carlos Ulberg, 8-1, fighting out of New Zealand, hailing from New Zealand, hometown boy, 32 years old, going against Jung, 4-1, fighting out of South Korea, hailing from South Korea, 29 years old. I think this is like Ulberg's first real test. You know, this is like Ulberg's first legit opponent. Somebody who's, you know, because like Ulberg, you know, he hasn't fought the best competition.
No.
But he's made work of the competition he's fought. Like
he's dispatching them the way he's supposed to dispatch them.
When you fight in low level comp, you got to treat him like low level comp.
Correct.
And Ulberg, he's been looking sharp. He's been looking pretty good. Jung has grappling, has striking. I like Ulberg though. I think Ulberg is going to be able to at least staff off the initial takedown attempts if Jung decides to, you know, kind of come at him with the wrestling. And I think he's just going to clip him. I think Ulberg's going to put Jung to sleep. Maybe first round. I like the unders in this fight because there is the chance that Jung, you know, if he there is a chance he does take him down. And then, you know, again, that's going to be like another all bets off thing. I don't know how that's going to look. But I like Ulberg. I like Ulberg early. And The Rock is going to get another win.
Can you smell it? Do you smell what The Rock is cooking?
I don't smell anything right now.
You ain't got COVID, right?
Nah.
I like Ulberg for all the reasons you mentioned. Minus 270, a little too much for me. I'll probably take him by the knockout just on a fly. And the reason being, it's not only because of the things that you mentioned. He's continuously showing improvement in every fight. He's big. He hits hard. He's very precise. I trust his camp to put him through the ringer in terms of getting his takedown defense up to par because everyone in that camp, even Blood Diamond to an extent against the cage, has decent takedown defense. In open space, a little questionable. But what I will say is that Jung, I'm going to fade him here, and I'm going to fade him here just because of the questionable decisions that he made in the Devin Clark fight, his last fight. He made a lot of silly decisions, and I was very high on him until that fight. And when you do that against Devin Clark, that's one thing, where he's throwing hammers that you can see from a mile away. But you can't do that with Carlos Ulberg because he's a sniper. He comes from a camp full of snipers. I like Carlos Ulberg, probably via knockout. I'll see how I'm going to bet it, but I'll let you guys know because Jung is somewhat durable. So I want to see more or less how we should bet this. And he is a capable fighter.
I was going to say, I mean, his best win is probably Kennedy Njoku. I mean, and all his takedowns came against William Knight, so I don't think that really says too much either.
Right.
But this man also did draw with Sam Alvey, which is not a good look.
Yeah, and that was also another fight where he made questionable decisions.
Yes.
Because he could have packed them up, you know? He could have sent them home, but he went and he played, you know, you play stupid games, win stupid prizes, but could have packed them up.
They would have been packing them up.
And did not. So got to fade him just on fight IQ. And I think that's going to be the difference of this fight. Everyone out of City Kickboxing makes great decisions outside of Blood Diamond. You know, but Blood Diamond, I have faith in him. He might get a dog shot this week. Who knows?
All right, now to kick off the main card, we got Tyson Pedro going one-on-one with the Pleasure Man, Anton Turkalj. Pedro, 9-4, fighting out of Australia, hailing from Australia, 31 years old, going one-on-one with the Pleasure Man. 8-2, fighting out of Sweden, hailing from Sweden, 27 years old. This is one of these fights where, to be honest, I think they should have switched, I think, the prelim main event with the card opener here. I don't think Tyson Pedro is
No.
I think early, I think Tyson Pedro has a chance here. Maybe on some club and sub shit. But
Anton's got a chin.
Anton opened up as a dog. I think now he's probably the slight favorite.
Yeah, minus 115, minus 105.
I think if Tyson Pedro doesn't get Turkalj out early, I think Tyson Pedro's going to be in trouble because Tyson Pedro does gas.
Yeah.
Turkalj got a chin. I mean, his fight against Petrino was sick. You know, that was nice back and forth where Petrino, I mean, he hit him with some crazy shit and just could not get Turkalj out. And that fight ended up going to the decision because it's hard to knock out the pleasure man. It's also very difficult to sub the pleasure man. He is not providing any kind of pleasure. I do lean Turkalj here, just slightly. If you're gonna bet Tyson Pedro
Early.
I think early, and I think you bet him inside the distance because he does have more subs than you think. He's one of those club and sub guys. You know what I'm saying? He'll catch you, knock you down, then try to grab a neck. You know. Pedro is it's just his gas tank that worries me. And again, Turkalj's got a chin. Who else did Turkalj fight? I know it was his debut fight was against.
I think it was Petrino.
Oh no, it was against Jailton Almeida.
Yeah.
Jailton Almeida, by the way, is the only guy who's ever subbed Turkalj.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying is that the realm of possibility that Pedro subs him, or just like ground and pounds him out. But I do think if it's Pedro, it's early. If it's Turkalj, I think it's late. And I don't know if this goes over under or this and that, but I'm gonna lean Turkalj here for the upset.
Well, yeah, not even the upset anymore because it's kind of a pick 'em. But I agree with you. Turkalj's got a great chin, and Tyson Pedro did really well against Bukauskas initially, and then faded as the fight went on. If Tyson's not packing you up, it's gonna be a rough night. And I think Anton's the better grappler, so I'm gonna lean Anton here, and Anton probably late. I'm not even going to elaborate further because I think you nailed everything pretty much on the head. Great fight, though. Great fight.
All right, next fight we got on the prelims here. We got Justin Tafa, the bad man, going one-on-one with Austen Lane. Now, since the first fight went to a draw, is this like a part two or is this?
It's two.
It's two?
It's two.
Okay. So we got Justin Tafa, the bad man, fighting out of Australia, hailing from Australia, 29 years old, going one-on-one with Austen Lane.
The guy who got knocked out by Greg Hardy in the Contender Series.
No, wait, didn't he knock out Greg Hardy?
No. I think he got stopped by Greg Hardy.
He's 12-3, fighting out of Jacksonville, Florida, 35 years old.
Yep, he got knocked out. I just checked.
When they first fought, I mean, I was leaning Tafa. Now they're fighting again. I'm still leaning Tafa. Austen Lane, I mean, to his credit, he's athletic. He's got more sub wins and submission things that I realized. I don't know who he's subbing, but he's subbing people.
Yeah.
I think Tafa, I mean, he's gonna have the height disadvantage, the reach disadvantage. But what the one thing I do like is that Tafa is gonna have the quickness and he's gonna have the power
And the precision.
And I think when Austen Lane comes in, he's gonna be reaching. And you know what happens when people reach?
On Tafa.
On Tafa in particular, he teaches. My man is a professor. He's got the PhD right here. He's going to take Austen Lane to school. That's just my opinion. I mean, not with the most confidence because if Austen Lane
Can drag him to the floor.
I think all bets are off. And I think you have to lean Austen Lane at that moment. But I think Tafa is going to be able to do enough in Australia, hometown crowd in the background, and I think he's going to clean Austen Lane out.
Yeah, I'm with you on the lean, not very confidently for all the reasons you listed. If Austen can somehow manage to get this to the floor, I think we're having a whole different conversation. But, even the first fight, it was a little weird. There was not much footage. So, I actually want to rewatch it just to see like the nuances in the footwork. But I think Tafa has that one hitter. And that's what separates him from a lot of these grapplers, including like the Parker Porters and all these other guys that try to, wrestle him. So I'm going to lean Tafa, not with the best confidence, but Tafa.
All right, now we are here. The featured bout. And I don't know how this fight even got sanctioned, but we got Manel Kape, Starboy Manel Kape, going one-on-one with the debuting Felipe dos Santos. Manel Kape, 18-6, fighting out of Portugal, training out of Las Vegas, 29 years old, going one-on-one with Felipe Detona, Felipe dos Santos, 7-0, fighting out of Brazil, hailing from Brazil, 22 years old. Kape's original opponent was supposed to be Kai Kara-France. I think that fight would have been sick. I think that was probably the most interesting fight on this card.
Correct.
Kai Kara had to pull out because he got a concussion in training. In comes the debuting Felipe dos Santos. I think this is going to be Kape, and I think he's going to be Kape by however he wants. Felipe, it's not going to be a boring fight. Felipe, he's going to come at you.
Yeah.
He's got crazy striking. Leaves his chin out in the air though. He will try to attempt. He'll try to attempt takedowns. He's going to come blitzing straight out the gate. Kape. The only negative I think I have on Kape is that sometimes he just kind of likes to, and for I guess the, how do you say, like, for lack of better words, he likes to play with his food.
Yeah.
So that's why I like betting Kape here. Sometimes you don't know how to bet. You don't know if he's going to go over or is going to go under or whatever. But I think Kape does win this fight. I think this is a very extremely tough debut for Santos. I think Santos is UFC worthy though.
Yeah.
And he's going to make this as exciting as possible, but
to a certain extent.
Kape, I think Kape's top 5. He just needs one more fight. I think he's already in title contention, low key. So many guys have pulled out of Kape. Kape has been waiting for a fight forever.
He's ducked, man. He's big for the weight class too. Everything. He just has all the dimensions to be a world champion, challenger, and champion. So
and he's gonna come in the cage, I think, with some rage because, like I said, it's been a minute, and he's been on Twitter. He's got the Twitter fingers. He's pissed that people keep pulling out on him.
Yep.
So I think this is gonna be Kape, probably inside the distance if I had to bet, only because again. Felipe, he's gonna come right in. There's no chill on Felipe. There's no slow down button. It's fast forward. He doesn't even play. He fast forward. So he's gonna go right at him. Kape by whatever he wants. Probably first round.
We could go to the next fight because it's exactly what you said. I mean, Kape by execution possibly, or if he wants to straight this out to a decision, probably gonna finish him. And I think that's the bet. I think he's a very parlayable piece this weekend too. This dude's filthy, so.
All right, now we're here. Co-main event. Tai Tuivasa. Bam Bam. Going one-on-one with Drago. Alexander Volkov.
Not Ivan, baby.
Not Ivan. Alexander. Tai Tuivasa. Bam Bam is 15-5. Fighting out of Australia. Hailing from Australia. 30 years old. Going one-on-one with Drago. Alexander Volkov. 36-10. Fighting out of Russia, hailing from Russia, 34 years old. Volkov is probably the rightful favorite here. Volkov, I don't think he's going to come at Tai Tuivasa the same way he came at Romanov?
Nah, it's a different fight.
Or even the fight before that. Who did he blitz?
Rosenstruck,
right?
Yeah.
He came out like a bat out of hell. Tried to just rush Rosenstruck and try to get him out of there. And he ended up getting out of there. His last fight against
Aspinall.
No, not Aspinall.
Oh, Romanov.
Yeah, Romanov. That was easy money.
Yeah. He was a dog in that fight, guys.
That's insane.
We slammed it.
Yeah.
We slammed it here because we knew.
The only regret was not putting more. You know?
Especially after seeing Romanov on the scale. Fat fuck. Unbelievable.
So I do think Volkov is going to have a little more patient approach here. I think he's going to try to stave him off with leg kicks, the straight kicks. I don't think he's going to want to try to tussle with Tuivasa too much. I like Bam Bam here for the upset. I mean, he's plus 200 right now.
His knockout's got to be crazy.
His knockout, it's not that crazy.
Plus 300.
But I mean, if he's gonna win, he's gonna win by knockout. And I like Bam Bam for the upset, only because I think Volkov struggles with people who's got quick hands.
He does. Derek Lewis.
He was beating Derek Lewis till he wasn't.
Yep.
I think it's gonna be more or less the same thing. Also, Tai Tuivasa almost got Ciryl out of there.
Yeah.
And I think Volkov's gonna try to implement the same game plan that Gon did. The problem is Volkov.
Not as quick.
He don't got that one hitter.
He's also not as quick.
Not as quick.
No.
And yeah, I think it's just a matter of time until Tai Tuivasa finds his chin. And I think I like Tai Tuivasa for the upset here.
I agree. And that's the thing. I agree with you. I don't know if I'm going to make that bet, but I'm not mad at people who decide to. He went against Sergey Pakovic's last fight. Big puncher. Got dealt. And he did a quick turnaround after the Cyril Gane fight, which I did not like. It was 3 months after that Cyril Gane fight. He got knocked out in that fight. And as well, too, Cyril Gane, it took him 3 rounds in which Cyril Gane got dropped by him. I like Volkov to win, but I like Tai as the bet. And I think he's a very, very, very live dog. I know people are shitting on him because they're like, he's weak to the body, but to be honest, his hand speed is gonna be the difference in the fight. And the thing is, Tai's used to fighting guys that are bigger than him.
Yeah.
So if he's just a few inches taller than him, who gives a shit? Tai just needs to connect. If he connects, he can drop anybody in this division. He can crack. So Volkov also kind of there to be hit. Doesn't really have the best head movement. Unless he's fighting big, he does have a decent chin. But let's be real, he's fought a lot of guys that don't hit like on the stratosphere of Derek Lewis or Tai Tuivasa. I think they hit like on a similar stratosphere, and Papovich is like another level compared to them. Papovich is like in between them and Francis. So,
you know what's sneaky? I mean, if you're on the Volkov side, just a gut feeling, I think if Volkov wins this fight, I think by sub.
Yeah.
Might be the way. That sub number's got to be probably nuts.
Nuts.
That might be worth a sprinkle, low key, but
yeah,
my gut feeling is telling me I think Tai
knockout.
Yeah, he's just gonna find his chin.
Someone's gonna get knocked out this fight.
First couple rounds, I think. Yeah, maybe round 2. I think gut feeling.
Yeah, Who knows? I don't see this fight going the distance.
No,
either Volkov's gonna knock him out or Volkov's gonna get melted. So, I like that bet for sure. I'll take that bet, but yeah, Volkov's the lean. Tai might be the bet for sure.
All right, now we made it to the main event, and we got Israel, the last style bender, Adesanya, going 1-on-1 with Sean Strickland. Israel, 24-2, the champion, fighting out of New Zealand, hailing from Nigeria, 34 years old, going 1-on-1 with Sean Strickland, 27-5. Fighting out of Riverside, California, 32 years old. I mean...
Riverside, motherfucker.
Let me ask you. Riverside, motherfucker.
Yeah. Go ahead, bro.
I'll throw it to you. How does Sean Strickland win this fight?
I think even if Sean Strickland comes in with the precise game plan of taking him down and trying to wrestle him, I still think he loses this fight. So I don't even want to spend too much time on this fight. Stylebender is gonna win. It's just debating how, right? I think he probably stops him in the 3rd or 4th round, maybe sooner. It's crazy because Sean is there to be hit. That's the problem with Sean's game, because he thought he could play that game with Pereira where he's right here, and he does roll with punches. The problem is he can do that with guys where their biggest strength is not their striking. Can't do that with a guy who's a sniper like Stylebender. Stylebender's probably going to stop him in this fight. And I know people are saying, oh, well, he doesn't really stop a lot of people. He stopped Pereira his last fight. He stopped a couple of guys. The thing is, though, I think Sean is there for the taking to get knocked out. And he's going to put himself into the line of fire to do it. Jared Kennedy didn't want to do it. Rob Whittaker didn't want to do it the second fight.
Yeah, Sean Strickland's crazy enough to he's going to keep walking forward.
Yeah, unless he's wrestling and holding him against the fence, then it's going to be a decision. But I don't see Sean doing that for 5 rounds. I think at some point he's going to want to stand that range and try to figure it out with him. And, his fucking podcast is a man dance. He's going to man dance with this man. And he's going to get man dance off the fucking dance floor.
He's going to get manhandled.
He's going to get manhandled, So, Stylebender, probably by knockout.
For me, I think it's going to be Stylebender decision. Mm-hmm. I am going to sprinkle maybe 3, 4, and 5, depending on how that looks. Because I think you're right. I think there is a possibility. Because the problem is Adesanya, I feel like he can get anybody he fights out of there. But, he's a cautious fighter. He's a smart fighter. And I think he's going to put enough respect on Sean Strickland's name, at least in the beginning rounds, round 1 and 2, where, I don't think he's going to, straight out just get him out of there. But 3, 4, and 5, I think is going to be really interesting. So if the numbers are nice and juicy enough, maybe a little sprinkle.
I agree.
My gut feeling says decision. I don't know how Strickland wins. If Strickland does win, pandemonium.
I doubt it. He just doesn't have it, right? Like, I don't think he has the punching power.
Supposedly he's got the wrestling, but
sure. We've never seen it.
Yeah.
It's just like batting homeboy that's fighting Blood Diamond. Never uses it.
Yeah.
Never uses it. So I can't bet it if you've never used it, even though you may or may not have it in your back pocket.
It's like Gaethje and his wrestling,
Correct.
Gaethje has the wrestling, but you never see it in the MMA fight. So it's kind of like.
Yep. So.
I think Adesanya, easy. He's
getting a big, unreasonable bet for me. Like, degenerate bet. Don't follow me. This is a slam dunk of a win in my opinion. So. And now to wrap it up, guys, that's UFC 293 in the books, episode 29 of the Access to Combat podcast. You guys already know the deal. Just to close it out, follow, like, subscribe, comment, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok.
Everybody watching on YouTube right now, hit the like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and drop a comment. We like them, positive and negative. Bring them all.
And for all of our audio listeners, Spotify, Apple, Google Podcast, you already know. Episode 29 in the books. Love you guys. Subscribe. Show us some love. Please, it helps us. It's free $99. Just to remind you guys. Love you guys. Holla at you. Outie.